Hi guys, it's Marc Zicree, Mr. Sci Fi, also known as Marc Zicree of Space Command. And we're recuperating from Comic-Con. It was a terrific time, as you know. Those of you who have been watching the Mr. Sci Fi channel, like, subscribe, share, all of that stuff. You know the spiel, and you know who I am by now. I'm sure hundreds of hours of network TV, bestsellers in fiction and nonfiction, all that stuff. But here, today, we're going to talk about why Scarlett Johansson matters. And it is a science fiction question. It is a subject for us to talk about. I just saw the movie Lucy by Luc Besson of The Fifth Element, and it was very funny because he showed several scenes at Comic-Con of this movie, and someone in the audience asked, why don't you make good movies anymore? I think that's an unfair question, because I think he's a very talented filmmaker, and he may have another Fifth Element in him. Taken was very entertaining. I think he's bringing a lot of craft and a lot of skill and a lot of passion to what he's doing. Lucy is an interesting film, but unfortunately not a great film. A lot of these filmmakers who have carte blanche seem to write first drafts and film them rather than actually taking the time to craft something of great depth and structure and beauty and balance and so forth. So I think there's a quality of rushed writing to this film, but Scarlett Johansson brings an enormous amount of presence to it. She may not be Meryl Streep, but I think she's a very skilled actress, and she brings a lot of personality and a beauty, of course, but also this quiet, solemn focus that I really like. And she's been in many, many movies. I first saw her in a film called Manny and Lo when she was a little kid, and I was very impressed with her in that. And we've all seen her in The Avengers, and there's a movie called Under the Skin that I've yet to see, but it's a science fiction film that is extremely strange, and she goes around Scotland as an alien woman seducing men and destroying them. So, but I think when you see Lucy, you'll see what makes a movie star, because if it were an actress you didn't know, if it were an actress who didn't have this history, if it were an actress who didn't bring this much presence and authority to the role, it wouldn't be nearly as interesting a film as it is. And it really shows you that she could be a wonderful action figure, action character. And in the Avengers, certainly she's doing that, but she's part of an ensemble, and she only has a few minutes to do some set pieces. But I think she has it in her to be along the lines of Sigourney Weaver in Aliens. I think just giving her the right script and the right vehicle, she could be quite phenomenal. And I think most actresses want sort of that iconic action role. When you have Charlize Theron in the new Mad Max movie, I think that's indicative. And I think, by the way, Charlize Theron will be terrific. I liked her very much in Prometheus, although Prometheus, of course, is not a good movie. I've said before that it's, I think, the worst great movie ever made. The visual quality of it and the cast, there's so many great things in it. Just turn off the sound and luxuriate in the film and ignore the enormous plot challenges. So getting back to Scarlett Johansson, I think Lucy is probably a movie to rent when it comes to home video or downloadable. The issues that it raises about boosted intelligence are very interesting ones. In fact, I wrote a screenplay called Furious that has a very similar premise of boosted capabilities. And there was another film called Limitless that came out a few years ago. But of course, boosted intellect has always been fascinating in the science fiction genre, all the way back to Forbidden Planet with the brain boost, and even going as far back as things like Island of Dr. Moreau, when H.G. Wells wrote it in the 19th century, where you would take animals and turn them into human-like beings. You would boost their intellect and their capabilities. And the issue, and even if you go to something like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is basically a science fiction story, you're dealing with the notion of augmented or altered humanity and what makes us human and what we would be if we had a larger capability, a larger intellect, a larger set of senses. The Transcendence recently tried to pull that off. Her is actually a better Scarlett Johansson role, although I think it was Emily Mortimer who was originally cast as the voice, and they wisely cast Scarlett Johansson as the voice instead, recast it, because when you hear Scarlett Johansson's voice, you're envisioning what she looks like, and that helps you to be beguiled by that character in that film, which is, of course, a much better film, and I think a very successful film artistically and in every way. Beyond that, in terms of brain boosting, I highly recommend an Outer Limits episode, the original Outer Limits, not the color one, the black and white one, the great one. It's an episode called The Sixth Finger, which stars David McCallum as a man of fairly limited intellectual capabilities who is boosted into an advanced human being. And it's quite a wonderful piece of work. Really, I saw it when I was a kid, and it was terrific. In fact, it's curious. When I was a kid, I was being raised by a single mom, and one day she went on a blind date, and she brought the guy back home just to say hi, and he took out his wallet, and he showed me a photo of David McCallum and said, "I did that makeup." So that means it was one of two guys. It was either John Chambers, who went on to do Planet of the Apes, or Fred Phillips, who went on to do Star Trek. Either way, he was one of the greats. And so, unfortunately, my mother only dated him once, so otherwise that could have been my stepdad. But as we go on, I'll tell you more about my various step-parents. Both my parents were married 4 times, so there's a reason I'm a writer. So anyway, that's about it for now. Check out Lucy. It won't be a total experience. It won't be one of your favorite movies in all likelihood, but it will certainly be an interesting one. And there's some great moments in it, if not a great totality. And if you want to see again a good science fiction film that Scarlett Johansson is in, check out her. Meanwhile, if you want to comment about your favorite movies about boosted intellect, please comment and share, like, subscribe to the Mr. Sci-Fi channel. We're logging videos almost every day. And we'll talk more very, very soon. Lots of stories to tell. I probably will do a video about why Hercules matters. I've got a very interesting story about that. And of course, on Friday is Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think we're all eagerly looking forward to. And hopefully it won't be like Prometheus. It will not disappoint. So we'll talk very soon. And again, it's Mr. Sci-Fi, Marc Zicree. Very glad to be sharing this time with you. Bye-bye.